Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. It is a beautiful day here in Chicago, but it's definitely summer. So for all of you guys listening on the audio-only version on the podcast and you're out there on the run right now, hopefully it is a little bit cooler. Hopefully it's not the middle of the day, the heat of the day. Avoid those if you can, guys, because it is hot. There's like not a single cloud in the sky in Chicago today, and we got cooked out there. My daughters and I decided we'd head over to the lake, do a little bit of swimming, a little bit of sandcastle building. We rode our scooters over there, and we were dripping with sweat by the time we got there. Jumped in the water, which is very, very cold. It felt like an ice bath, so it felt good on the legs, actually. But we didn't last too long in the water because it was just too cold. And then on the sand, it was just too hot. So it was just one of those summer kind of days. And everyone watching this on YouTube later, but not live, welcome to you guys as well. Hopefully you're relaxing in the evening or maybe in the beginning of the day before your run and are at a point where you can just have this on in the background and relax a little bit. All right, let's see who we got in the chat. We got Martha here. She says, Shaw to the airport leaves just when the live stream starts. So she's going to miss it again, but see y'all soon. All right. No problem, Martha. Hopefully you're at the airport safely. Leona says, so proud of you, Mike. Way to crush sub 3. Congrats again. Thanks so much, Leona. I really appreciate it. And Sean says, it's been cool getting to join the chat while on vacation, both grandmas, back to work, and the podcast tomorrow. Oh, man, Sean. Well, it's good to take a couple of days off after the marathon. Normally, after a marathon, today would be North marathons are on Sunday. Grandma's is on a Saturday, so everything is kind of shifted today. Normally for a Sunday race, I'm usually running by Wednesday. For a Saturday race, that would be Tuesday today. But I decided I would relax one more day. And after jumping in the lake today, getting a little bit of an ice bath there, I think tomorrow will be a day. Maybe just go for a nice, easy run just because I like it. I miss it, and I want to get back out there. I mean, everything's starting to feel pretty good. Feeling really good. I mean, the kids always have me moving anyway. I've been on the scooter. We've been walking around the neighborhood a whole bunch, chasing them around. So I've been. I'm not sure I would call that active recovery, but I've been recovering. I'm feeling good. All right, Sean Devlin said he had a speedy 5 this morning. He gives us a wave emoji, and he's feeling that post-lunch slump now. Yeah, you know, Sean, I used to tell people that I would always plan all my in-person meetings for after lunch because, in-person meetings are usually not, I wouldn't say they energize me, but I won't fall asleep during an in-person meeting. So that's kind of how I usually set those up. Now, if it's an in-person meeting that you think you might fall asleep during, maybe put that one in the morning. But, if anytime it was like, catching up with someone over coffee, meeting someone, prospective new client, that kind of thing, that's the kind of stuff that I would do in the early afternoon. Dave says, I can't stop watching the sub 3 video, the emotion and feels, just love it. Any chance of a Ben POV interview? I think Ben's going to be, we'll see. The thing to remember is that Ben has like a full-time regular job. I think he's an engineer. I don't usually ask people what they do, but I think he's an engineer, works in like medical devices, which is pretty common in Minnesota. I feel like everyone in Minnesota, I feel like either works for like 3M or like a medical device company or like Target is like one of the 3 things. So like healthcare and healthcare kind of adjacent things, pretty popular in our work. So like, it's not like I can like have him like take an hour out of his day, just any old time. And I do think, I don't know if I'm breaking news here, but I do think that there is a Ben Johnson longer interview that is coming up, not from me, but from someone else. So, you guys you'll get your fill. But I do think that interview was recorded before the race this last weekend. Vincent says, hey, Co and friends. Steve76 says, howdy from Doha, Qatar on an 8-hour layover. Whoa, that's pretty cool. Mark Chankogo says, happy Tuesday, everyone. What's going on, Mark? And Mark says, can we get sub 3 Kofuzi shirts made? I don't think we need that. I don't think anyone really wants that. We don't need to do that. Dave says, are you going to experiment with the new 30-second vids on Strava? I have already. So I posted a couple of clips from the shakeout run at Grandma's. So if you want to go back and look at that. And then I forget, there was another event. There's a day before that. I think I just posted like a sunrise kind of running clip. So I've been putting a little bit of things on there. I think what I'm going to do with it is, I don't know. For the video on Strava, I think what would be nice is instead of just having, I usually have just like a photo, like a snapshot of what I've been, from the run, the GoPro footage I already get. But like, I think what would be fun is like not use it every time, but anytime I go on a new route or take you on a route that I don't normally go on, to like have something during the run that I could be like, yeah, here I am, guys, going to Mines of Spain, that kind of thing. When I'm in Iowa, going on a trail, or if I'm getting lost somewhere, that'd be a good time to like bust out the camera and be like, I have no idea where I am, guys. I feel like I should have taken a left turn here, that kind of thing. I think that might be kind of fun to do and have as part of the Strava experience. But like, I think it's cool. It has a lot of potential. I think it has a lot of potential to annoy a lot of people too. I think there's just gonna be a lot of scrolling right by it. People won't use it, but like, it has a lot of potential. But I just really wish that they would make replies to comments like normal. It's just a disaster. And so like, that's like the main thing I want from Strava. Terry said for today, the timing for starting talking after I set the live to go was spot on today. So, all right. It's usually like 6.5 seconds. Frank says, what do you weigh right now? Are you a little lighter than the 140 you've been at? I usually hover around 143 to 145. That's kind of like on any given day, that's where I'm at. I think that I've been a little I've been more often at 143 than I've been at 145. So I think that's what, like 6 stone for people that weigh things in stone. I actually have no idea. Yeah, so it usually stays within a pretty narrow range, which I find surprising. When I used to be a little heavier, like my weight would fluctuate wildly from day to day. But like right now, things just stay pretty constant. But I also, I guess, don't really weigh myself all that often. It's usually like after a long run is when I'll weigh myself, because I'm just like, oh, I wonder how much I am now. I sweated a bunch kind of thing. But I do think the last couple of times I weighed myself, I was closer to 143 to 1. I don't think I ever saw a 141 or a 140. That if I saw something with a 130, that would have been really surprising for me. That would have shocked me. So like, I think I'm right around where I kind of normally am. And over the summer, I'm kind of anticipating that my weight will go up a little bit, because I'm going to be doing a lot of just unstructured running from now until probably September. So still probably a lot of miles, but like just not that many workouts. If I do, they'll be like small little fartlek type things, nothing, maybe some threshold work, but like, I think maybe not even threshold work, maybe more like just small batches of half marathon effort kind of thing. So I think that the weight will probably go up just because the intensity and the mileage will go down. So, yeah. All right. I think I missed a bunch of comments because the chat just flew up on my side here. So if you had a running question, sorry guys, if you don't mind repeating it, I will try my best to catch it the second time around. Frank says 143 pounds is about 10 stone. Is it 14 pounds is a stone? Okay. And what is it? 22 kilos is 45 pounds or something like that. That's what a plate is in the gym, I think. I don't know. I'm really bad with measurements. Sean wants to know, any plans on running New York this year? I'm working on it, hopefully. I'll be in New York for sure. Whether I can run on it, there's some things in the works, hopefully. We'll see. But I'll definitely be there for the weekend. Jay President wants to know, when am I going to come down to Virginia Beach? I don't know. I think probably the best bet would be like maybe in the fall, but probably like it's something that like, I told you guys about it. I had a conversation with Jay Preza a little while ago that like my sister wants to do like and also my wife too. I think they've been talking. They want to do like a rent a beach house for the week kind of thing and do like a spring break or something down somewhere in the Atlantic states. So I feel like that would be really nice. Just something where like you get to the house, make a big Walmart run or Costco run, and then just hang out on the beach all day and let the kids like dig for shells and make sandcastles all week. That's the kind of vacation I think I would love to have. So I think that'd probably be the best bet. Unless there's like I know there's a couple of races down there that might be worth traveling for. So it could be that too. Yeah, Dave says, so when is the 100K for 100K subs running on the card? Smash that too. I just don't know, Dave. I got to figure out a way to figure it in. I got another email from USA, not me, but like USATF sent another email out that the regular registration for the Masters Championship, the outdoor track meet, is June 29th. You can still sign up after that, but there's additional fees. That track meet is like in, I think, late July, in Lexington. So like I kind of have to decide soon, like, do I want to ramp up for a 100K or do I need to start getting ready for a steeplechase? So they're like pretty much opposite ends. I mean, I guess both are, you'll be doing a lot of unconventional running, I guess, or non-conventional running, but, two very different events, 3,000 meters versus 100,000 meters. So I gotta decide and figure that out. I don't really want to go to Lexington in the middle of the summer. That seems very hot and humid to me, but it is only a 3,000, only in air quotes. So I don't know. That's what it's really going to come down to. And then if I'm doing the 100K, I'd really prefer to do it at an event where there's like course markings and aid stations and stuff. So I got to figure out what that is. And then I'm thinking, I'll probably have to do that far out ahead of time enough where I could let some of you guys know too. So if anyone else wants to run the event, we can all run together maybe. Bishan Mom says, hey Mike, are you concerned that all the marathons may cause stress fractures in your leg or feet? I'm not. Because of the fact that, I'm not going to be running, I'm running Chicago and I'll probably run CIM. Most likely, I can't imagine not. I just have to sign up for it. And then I would probably I'd like to also run. So like this winter could go if I run New York, it would be October, Chicago, November, New York, December, CIM, January, potentially the Houston half marathon. I don't want to run the full again. I'll run the half though. And then I think March, when's Tokyo? It'd be coming up next. So like February, I wouldn't have a race basically. So I'd like a race like every month, a big one, but the thing is that I won't be running those as A races, each time. And so like, I felt like I knew in my head going into grandma's over the weekend that whatever happened on Saturday, I was going to have a summer of just unstructured running where I'm not in a training block. I just need to take a break from a training block. And so that's kind of like my way of preventing the stress fractures in the legs and feet, touch wood. So I'm not too concerned because, I like really squishy cushion shoes. I want to hope to spend a lot of time on soft surfaces this summer. And, that's going to be the way to kind of deal with it and, use kind of those some of those marathons as fun runs, not the right word, but they're not going to be all out efforts and the preparation for them aren't going to be all out preparations, so that's kind of the big difference of it. Let's see. Runner Dre says, what's going on, Runner Dre? Says, after watching your video, I'm definitely adding grandmas to my list. Looks like a fun course and race environment. Travel logistics do look tricky, though. That's the tough part. Getting to Duluth is hard. I think there is an airport up there, but I don't know how, economically feasible or practicable it is to go up that way. So, it's tough travel day, and it's a Saturday race to boot. But I guess because it's tough to travel there, at least you get all of Sunday to kind of figure out travel, too, if you want to do it that way. But it is fun. The course is gorgeous. There's lakes. You're running through the woods a lot of the time. on a road, but through woods, so there is some semblance of tree cover even on a very sunny day like we had. And I just really enjoyed the course. It has a couple of rollers, but I wouldn't call it even a rolling course. I just think that it's just a nice gradual downhill. Hardly even notice it downhill, but enough of a downhill that your body will feel it. So and you'll definitely be able to benefit from it. So I really can't recommend that course more because I just really loved it. And there was, I was looking at the number of aid stations. Like I really think they need to have more aid stations, but for me it ended up being the exact right number. And I did grab stuff like pretty much at almost all of them except for some at the beginning. So it was just a really, really great course. And the energy from the crowd is fantastic. Shannon says, hey, CoFamzy, there's nothing I'd want to do less than run 100K unsupported. Oh, wait, maybe you can make it a Kofuzi Run Club supported thing. Locals could run portions with you. See, that's one of the things that I'm thinking is like, when is there like a weekend where it's quiet in Chicago? And then just be like, hey guys, starting at like 5 a.m, I'm going to be running up and down the lakefront if anyone wants to join in for a couple miles. So that's kind of like one of the things I've been thinking about. But that's still like a lot of planning for me and stuff, because then I have to be like, all right guys, at this point I'll be at this aid station or like this mile marker and all that kind of stuff. But I guess what I could do is what is it, Garmin has a thing where you can send out a beacon and people can find out where you are, I guess. I'm not sure, I'd have to look into it, but that's something that I do like, the idea of just running it with other people. Frank says, when does Boston registration open up again? I don't know. I think it opens up in, I want to say, I don't know. But like Chicago, it's before Chicago happens. So like a Chicago time won't get you into Boston for next year, I think, right? I'm not sure. Brian Nee says, I think he said you're going to San Francisco in July. Any more details on that trip? I don't have any more details on the trip right now. It is going to, I think I'm going there the 5th or the 6th. I think it's going to be the 6th in the evening is when the run is going to be. And then I think I leave the 7th, I think. It's going to be a long trip for me overall because I'm leaving the 29th to go to Denver. And then I'll be in Denver until like the 3rd. I leave the morning of the 3rd. So I'll have all of the 2nd, and then I'll leave the 3rd. And then I'll be in Mammoth Lakes. And from Mammoth Lakes to San Francisco. And then from San Francisco back to home. So from like the 29th of June to like the 6th or like the 7th of July. That's a long trip. 3 cities. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a whirlwind. I'll have so much video to edit by the time I'm done. We got one here that I wanted to get. Here we go. Dave says, your pep talk inspired me to face my fear today. I ran over the spot where 8 weeks ago I fell and shattered my elbow. Started running again 2 weeks ago after a surgeon gave the okay. Bring on a race the train. Ooh. All right, Dave. Well, I'm glad you were able to get through that. Sorry that you had such a thing happen to you. But glad to hear that you're back out there. All right. Affluent Journey says, I might try my first 10K since December this weekend. All right. Well, fingers crossed for you, AJ. Hopefully you have a good one. You'll have to let us know how it goes. Oh, by the way, guys, tomorrow's going to be, I know I keep canceling all these live streams, but tomorrow's probably going to be the last live stream for this week. Not probably, it will be. Kids are out of school, summertime, and my wife's out of town this week. So when she gets back, on Thursday, we're going to be doing some family stuff. So I won't be able to do live streaming not Thursdays, but this Thursday and this Friday. And then the following week, I don't think we'll have hardly any. Maybe we'll have one on Monday. Probably not, because I'm going to get ready for traveling. So tomorrow I'll have more information on that, but I think probably all of next week we won't have any because I'll be gone. I'll be out there hopefully seeing you guys. So it'll be a little bit of a hiatus. Sean says, what kind of do you have a weekly mileage you stick to when not in a training block? Usually the only time that I'm not in a training block is like the winter. And so I usually like the temperature dictate it, but it usually ends up being like around 50 to 60. And I think that's kind of what I'm going to shoot for this summer. If I find a week where like running's really good and I'm enjoying it, I might go higher. If it's a week where I'm doing a lot of family stuff, summer stuff, then I'll go lower. And I think that's like the whole benefit of the unstructured running is to just fit in as much or as little running as I feel like fitting in, but I think like kind of keeping it around 60 is going to be a good way for me to just have like a good amount of just base aerobic miles, not really doing too many workouts. Basically, I'll be doing workouts to test shoes. That's about it. And then otherwise, just keeping it nice and easy and having just a lot of fun with it. Well, Fredo says, in January, you should look into the Louisiana half. Better food and beer. See, I do need to find a race. See, like that, was it the Crescent City 10K? Is that what it is? There's the one that like the Robertsons, both Zane and his brother both go to in Louisiana. I'm thinking maybe I'll do that one year. Just 'cause I'm like, why do those brothers both go to that? Why do they fly all the way here from Kenya to go run that race? I don't understand. I got to figure that out. So like, I want to, maybe that's one I'll do and just stalk my friend Zane Robertson. But I do want to go run a Louisiana race. And I feel like January is pretty much the only month of the year that I'd want to race in Louisiana. It's just so hot and humid there. Thaddeus says, congrats on the sub 3, Mike. I also ran grandmas. I got a PR of 3:49.41. Awesome. Great job. Just under the 350 goal. Awesome. And he loved the recap video. Thanks, Thaddeus. And great job on setting the PR yourself. You just squeezed in there. 19 seconds. I wouldn't say squeeze in with 19 seconds. I feel like that's solidly under. So really good work. Really good work. Ryan Weissman says, very excited to see your full breakdown video of the sub 3 grandmas. I see you chose the rabbit half tights versus the John G ones you ran Cherry Blossom 10 mile in. Are the rabbits lighter and cooler? I'm not actually sure. Did I ride the John G ones at Cherry Blossom? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I really like the rabbit ones. As I was putting them on Saturday morning, I was like, oh, these are like thicker than I remember. I hope these aren't hot. But they ended up being fine. I didn't think they were hot at all while I was running them. I like them because they have a pocket that's just the right size for 2 gels on the right, 2 gels on the left, and then a zipper pocket in the back for 2 gels. You could fit other stuff in there too, but like for a race day, since I'm not carrying keys or a phone or anything, I just go 2, and then 2 in the back. And so like it just keeps everything nice and light. And so I'm just really comfortable with that one. I like the placement of the pocket in the rabbit half tights. Sometimes on half tights, you got to reach up like all the way up into like the side of by the waistband to get into the pocket. And it's just not as natural for me sometimes. So sometimes like you're putting your hand in, trying to reach for a gel, and then you end up with like your hand like in your pants. And I'm like, oh, that's not it. And you kind of have to adjust. So like for me, the rabbit ones are just like, boom. It's just like exactly where I want them to be. So I really like the pocket placement. I think that's what it was. And I had a really good result with them in LA. I've raced with them a bunch of times. So I feel like, it's a pant that's been working for me. I just didn't want to mess with it too much. I've really thought about wearing the white singlet that I ran LA in because I like that white singlet. I like the white color more than I like the yellow one. And I think the back is cut a little bit differently between the version 1 and version 2 of that singlet that I was wearing. I prefer the cut in the back of version 2, but I prefer the front of version 1. So I was thinking about wearing the white, basically the same outfit as LA, but I was like, I can't wear the same outfit twice, I guess. I wanted to mix it up a little bit. So I went with the newer A6 singlet. But I don't know if that they're necessarily that much lighter or cooler as far as the rabbit half tights go. They're just really good. Cody says, I didn't know people ran in Duluth. I thought all they did was play hockey and curling. The convention center, the door you're supposed to go in to get to the expo, if you were going curling, that's where you would go. And curling is big in Minnesota. Some of my friends that live in Minneapolis, they are avid curlers. I don't know if that's what they call themselves. Curlers. I don't know, whatever that is. There's a lot of fishing as well. Really good fishing in Minnesota. If you're into that, I'm not. I don't know how to fish. My mind is has too short of an attention span to enjoy fishing, I think. So my brothers-in-law, they fish. They'll bring their fishing poles. That's what you call it, poles, when they go kayaking. and I don't know, they got like I don't know if they just shove it into the kayak hole or what, but they'll be kayaking and stuff, and then all of a sudden they'll be like, I don't know where their kayak oars went, but now all of a sudden they got a fishing rod in their hands, and they'll like just cast. They're like, see all that brush over there? It's like touching the water. Fish love that, and they'll just start fishing while they're kayaking. I think that's the kind of fishing that I could like, where you're like doing 4 other things at the same time. But like when people are just like standing and just like, you just whoosh, that boring. I don't want to do that. Scott, no offense to fishermen and people that like enjoy fishing. I wish I enjoyed it. I wish I could fly fish. I think that I would enjoy that sport. I would probably want to turn it into like a thing where you trail race, fly fish, eat the fish, and then run back out. That's a sport I would like, I think. Just like I also think I would like biathlon. Scott says, do you follow a training plan for Chicago? I'm not going to really follow a training plan. I think I'm going to try to write a training plan for my running buddy. I think his goal is 320. So I might write him up a plan to start looking at now. I told him he doesn't really need to start worrying about it until September, the middle of August or so, but I think he's nervous. So I'll probably write him a plan, and I'll share it with you guys too. But most of my philosophy on marathon training is do a lot of threshold work, and then get marathon effort miles in the long run, and then a lot of easy stuff, really slow, easy stuff. Dave says, I gotta ask, after rewatching the video, how's the nipple shavers? Look rough. I didn't really feel it. I took off the singlet when I got home. No, when I got to the hotel to take a shower. And I was like, what's that? And I thought that it had come from my jacket that I had worn. I thought maybe the jacket had like color had run or something like that off onto the singlet. I was like, oh, that's weird that the color's running like that, because I'm a little colorblind. It didn't look like blood to me. It looked more like purple, like the color of or navy, like the color of the jacket that I was wearing. So I thought that's what it was. But I think, looking at some of the race footage, yeah, clearly I had a little bit of nipple chafage. I think it's because I was dumping water on myself the entire race. From like mile 5, maybe. I was alternating like drinking a water or a Powerade, but mostly drinking water, dumping water on my front side, and then the next time I would dump water on my back side. And I just think that it being really, really wet and sometimes having really strong crosswinds is what did it. All right. Sean says that Boston registration starts September 12th. Okay. I'm very excited for that. I'm looking forward to registering this year. Sean Devlin said, I think I screwed up Boston registration. Signed up for an October marathon to BQ at. Who was I just talking to about? I was talking to someone about that, I think at the Shakeout run on Friday. That, I think it was Friday, that they had signed up for Chicago thinking that they could use it to BQ for this next coming Boston. And they said, he's like, my running buddies, they alerted me to my error the morning of a 20-mile long run. And I'm like, they should have waited until after you did your 20-mile run. So that way, it wouldn't like be weighing over you and you'd still be motivated to get that 20-mile run in. But he said he did fine on the run anyway. Lucas Lilly said, after the mother of all injury, I'm starting to walk today. Awesome. Can't wait to get back to running again. Any tips, Co? Awesome, sub 3. Let's go. I would say if it's been a big injury, I know that it's going to be really hard not to rush back into it, but make sure you're ready. You don't want to have recovered for weeks and then ruin it at the end. You know what I mean? So make sure your body is ready. Really listen to your body. And hopefully you'll be back out there. Leona says, "Did you cramp at all during Grandma's? Thanks for the candid vid on the race." My left hamstring was tight from the beginning, and I didn't warm up the way I normally do. Because I basically was, I'm just gonna do whatever Ben Johnson does. And I was like, Ben, do you warm up, like jog like 10 minutes or so? Do any like strides or anything like that? He goes, nope. I just walk up and start running. And I was like, okay, I guess that's what I'm doing. Because I didn't want to get separated from him in the corral. So like once it was anywhere near time to be ready to go towards the corral, I'm like, I'm just gonna like basically like hold on to his shirt like a little boy following his dad, you know, kind of thing. And so like I was like, I guess I'm not warming up today. So we did that, and then I was like, very early I regretted it. I was like, my left hamstring is giving me problems already. And I thought, oh well, I should definitely be slamming the Powerade because maybe it's just salt. And I'm like, it can't be, but maybe that will help it. I don't think it really did. But yeah. So that's what was going on with as far as cramping went. And then other than that, no, my hip started bothering me like on and off towards mile 20, as it kind of always does because I run a little bit funny. But it never ended up being a huge problem. No, I didn't. I feel like, you know, we went so controlled the first half, and it was that slight downhill that I feel like I never got ahead of myself. And that's really what causes like the real bad kind of like leg cramps, everything seizing up, like those kinds of pains like I had in LA. Like I didn't have that. I had very different kinds of pains than I had in LA. That being said, like maybe if I had the mental state that I was able to, you know, work on since LA. So if I had that going into LA, maybe it wouldn't have hurt so much, but I don't feel like it hurt quite the same way. And I think a lot of that is, you know, just having another marathon cycle to build on and get stronger, but also kind of like being psychologically prepared for it too. So I feel like some real breakthroughs, and the breakthroughs weren't physical. They were all mental, I think. So Sean wants to know about any chance on the Peg 39 review. I need a new daily trainer. Can't wait that long for Nova Blast 3. I ordered a Nike by You pair. I think the ship date is supposed to be July 5th. So I think basically when I get back from San Francisco, I'll have plenty of miles on my Nova Blast 3. So I'll probably do like Nova Blast 3 that week, Peg 39 that week, then Nova Blast versus Peg 30. Well, I don't know if I'll do any Nova Blast versus Peg 39. But also, I just got yesterday the Mach 5. I bought the all-white pair. It looks really nice. So that video will probably go out this week. There'll be one more, a total of 3 different videos out of Grandma's Marathon weekend. The next one will be, the last Grandma's Marathon video will be just a very detailed, like, if you just want to know, like, stats, numbers, what I ate, when I ate it, that kind of thing, that video is going to be coming up next. Probably not tomorrow, maybe the day after that. And then the last video before I go to Denver will be probably the Mach 5 video. So then Mach 5 video, then a Denver video, then a Mammoth Lakes video, then a San Francisco video, then a Peg 39 video. So maybe middle of July, I think, is probably, I know it's going to be a while. But I don't know. It seems like I've seen some other stuff from what other people are writing about it. And I think that the rear air pocket, not so much that the rear air pocket I think is going to do all that much. I think it's just going to mean that there's that much less reactant. I just think the react's too dense in the Pegasus. So I'm optimistic that the 39 will be much better than the 38. That's my hope. So, but it'll be not soon, but eventually. Sorry. Okay, Wilfred says, the Crescent City Classic and the Louisiana Marathon are flat and fast courses, and the post races turn into festivals with unlimited food and beer. There you go. That's the reason to go. Okay. January, you said? Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go watch Houston then, and I'll run Louisiana. Because that sounds like fun. I want to do that. That sounds like a lot of fun. Cool. Oh, Jay President says, not sure if you said anything about this, but how did the Metaspeed Sky Plus treat you during grandma's? I thought it was great. My middle toe on the right foot and the second toe on the left foot both were pretty chewed up by the end. My right one more than the left one. The right one, I think there's been something wrong with that toenail. Well, it's black and weird shaped already, and like it's just been, I think, all the other shoes that I've been wearing with it, not that the Metaspeed Sky hasn't been contributing to it, have been like just like turning that dead toenail to stick up a little bit kind of. And then I think just like the pounding of the marathon just kind of like it hit the toenail the wrong way, and so that toe is like super gross right now. It's starting to feel better. Left toenail feels much better. Just after like the first day it was a problem. So toes got a little bit crunched. Not some of the worst crunching I've ever seen, but worse than kind of say on average than some, like it was harder on my toes than say like the RC Elite at CIM or even the Metaspeed Sky 1 in LA. And that might just be the downhill nature of the course versus a rolling or uphill course at LA. But as far as like the midsole foam goes, I thought it was great. I just think that it like let me keep going the entire time. And it felt like, you know, a lot of super shoes, they feel great. But once you get really deep into a run, for a long run or a race, after a while, it just feels like you're running in a regular shoe again. And you're like, oh, the pop is gone. You know, and then you have to realize, well, if I were in a regular shoe, imagine how terrible my feet would feel. But this, I just felt like I had a nice pop in the shoe the entire time. So I really did enjoy having it. And I do think that, you know, someone was commenting, I think trying to like, I don't think their intentions were really all that nice. But they were like, you know, how much do you think that the Metaspeed Sky Plus played a role in your breaking 3? And I was like, well, I mean, I review shoes for a living on YouTube. So if I were to say shoes don't really matter, that would kind of be like a really hard indictment of what I do for a living, right? So I'm going to think that they do something. And I do really like the Metaspeed Sky Plus. Do I think I'm fit to do it in a variety of shoes? Yeah. But do I think that it played an important role? Absolutely. It was a great shoe to have. I really liked it. I didn't see many others out there. I saw a lot of Metaspeed Sky version 1s, but not any other pluses. And I was a little bit surprised by that. I thought there'd be more both Sky version 1s and Sky pluses, but I was very glad to have it. I think it's a great... I think that the changes, like I think I said in the main video that I made about it, it seems to have a little bit of like speed, top end speed taken off of it. Like the edge is off of it. Not edges in the other shoe, but like that fine point of like top end speed is gone. But you don't need top end speed in a marathon. And the trade-off is I feel like it's just much better marathon effort cruiser than it is, say like a 10K racer. So not that people can't run fast 10Ks in it. I mean, Eilish McColgan is running so many fast 10Ks in them. But at least I think she is. And so anyway, but yeah, I really enjoyed the shoe. And I would pick the Sky Plus over the Sky 1 any day. Coney says, surprised Ben didn't try to convince you to run the Alpha Fly. No, I mean, he didn't ask me about any of that stuff ever. You know, but he does love his Alpha Flies. His were squeaky. There was a point where when I was catching up to him and Eric, I caught up and I was like, what is that squeak? And I'm like, I see all these people that are around. I'm trying to figure out whose shoe is squeaky like that. And it's hard to place the sound when you've got like 7 people in front of you or 6 people, you know, something like that in front of you. And like, you know, all the feet are hitting really quickly. So you can't really place it. And after a while, I'm like, Ben, is that your shoe squeaking? He goes, yeah, my shoe squeaks. And then like 6 or 7 miles later, I'm like, hey, Ben, where's the squeak in your shoe? It's gone. He's like, yeah, it comes and goes. I don't know. I'm like, I think it's because when you go through the water station, you get water in the shoe. And there's something in there. He goes, yeah, I think the water gets in between like the air pod and the carbon plate or something. He's like, I don't know. Water's getting in somewhere and it creates a squeak. So I thought that was pretty funny. Nina says, my shoes squeak. It's my orthotics. So maybe it's the carbon that squeaks in Ben's shoe. Let's see what else we got here. We'll do a couple more. The kids have been very quiet, so they probably need checking up on soon. Dave says, Co, what's your current half marathon PB? That's a great question. I don't know. I think it's a 126 something. I definitely feel like I can work on that. I'd love to be able to work on that. I don't see myself working on it anytime soon, though, just because, while I do look forward to some unstructured racing, between now and the fall, like I still will need to train a little bit for Chicago. So I don't know, maybe I run the Chicago half marathon as a PR effort and then pace my buddy 2 weeks later. So that could be it. But other than that, then like if I run New York, it'll be coming off of just running Chicago. And also I'd probably rather focus on a faster effort at CIM than trying to run a fast at a bridgey, is that a word? A course in New York that has lots of bridges and hills. So I'm not sure when I'd work on that. I mean, I guess Houston could be an opportunity, or I could just kind of like hop in a race at some point, but then I'd like to kind of train for it, but because I think I could get that down into the 124s. I don't know how much more I can go than that, but I'd love to be able to know, So like I look at Megan Murray's times. She runs an incredibly fast half marathon, and I'm just like, seems inconceivable to me. But I'm like, I'm kind of in that neighborhood now, I guess. So she's still a lot faster than me, but like it's in the same conversation, I think. So I think, there's lots of room for me to chop it down, but I don't know when I'll ever actually get a chance to do it. Avalon Journey wants to know, are you going to the big race weekend in San Francisco, July 24th? No, I will not be there. I will be in Eugene till the 20th, I think, and then coming back home after that. 1 horsepower just got the Takumi Sen 8. It takes forever to lock these puppies down. Yeah, but you know what? Once you get that shoe dialed in, that shoe is so good. I think it's going to be one of my favorite shoes of the year. Just like overall, every time I lace those up, I have such a good time running in the Takumi Sen 8. It's like, I really hope for the Adios Pro 3 that it's just that same fun feeling in a marathon package. Like I'd love to be able to take the Takumi Sen 8 for a marathon. I just think my feet are not strong enough for that. Like the person was asking earlier, like, don't you think you'd get like stress fractures or something? And I'm like, I think that would really hurt me, but I'd love to be able to get like bottle that feeling and then like put it into the Adios Pro 3. Hopefully that's what it is. So I'm really looking for the Adios Pro 3. When do they come out? August. So yeah, just in time for all the fall marathons. Because I remember this fall is going to be crazy good because we've got London Marathon in the fall. It's going to be 3 weekends, 3 majors this year, right? It's like Berlin, London, Chicago, or something like that, right? So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. A lot of race shoes that will be sold in once we get to August, So I think it's going to be a fun fall, a really fun fall. But running in the Takumi Sen 8, definitely a fun shoe to run in. All right, let me scroll at the bottom. Okay. Dominic Smiranowski says, I'm so excited about the Alpha Fly 2. Seems to be much more manageable for non-elite runners. Will you test it, Co? Yeah, I will test it. When does it come out in the US yet? I know it came out in Europe, like UK got it. And there were some pairs of Alpha Fly 2 spotted at Grandma's, at least one pair, from photos that I've seen so far. So people are getting it here. Ben Johnson was telling me that StockX going rate was about $550, and I was like, that's a little bit steep. I'm not in a hurry to be testing, especially now that I'm not training for anything for a while. I'm not in a super hurry, so I probably won't take a look at it until like the Adios Pro 3 releases. and Endorphin Pro releases. So like once those shoes are out, then I'll start worrying about when I can get some Alpha Fly 2s. So I'm just not worried about it right now. I'm not saying I'm on vacation, but because I got a lot of running coming up, but my needs are a little bit different. It just looks so heavy right now. So that's my only concern about it. And I really don't like the way that they changed the heel design. It just looks so strange and it looks really dense. And I've got a lot of side eye for it right now. I'm like, I don't know. But, everyone that's running it so far seems to be loving it. So I'm sure it's great. I am looking forward to running it too because, people are saying, I was messaging someone today. I won't out them and say who they were. But that person was saying, like, what'd you think about the Sky Plus? And I was like, it's great. Like, that bigger landing pad in the forefoot is just enough to make it a better marathon shoe, and I think in all the right ways. And that person was like, yeah, it's much more Alpha Fly-like. And I'm like, I'm not sure I completely agree with that because it's been a long time since I've run in an Alpha Fly. But I know that even if I thought that, I probably wouldn't say that to people because I think that would just start triggering people. People will get mad if I started saying that. So, like, I'm not sure. So I'm looking forward to trying an Alpha Fly to see, to remind myself. Same thing when I was talking with Thomas and Ben about the Metaspeed Edge Plus. And they were like, it's much more like the Vaporfly Next. And I'm like, what? I love the Next Percent. I didn't love the Edge Plus. I'm like, I gotta run in the Next Percent again. And Thomas is like, here, I know it's too big, but put mine on and run down the hallway. So he made me put on his 10.5s and run down his hallway. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to get a feel for it doing this. So I got a bunch of testing to do. We'll see. I may have to pick up. I'm thinking like I might pick up another pair of Next Percents as well just to stay kind of fluent in the Nike racers, I think. All right. Let's see where else we got here. One more. 022. I think this will be the last one for today. Says, hey, Co. I believe remember you mentioning you were testing out a Forerunner 255. Any thoughts on it so far? I'm using a 955 and believe they're fairly similar. Yeah, I have been running in the 255. I raced in it at Grandma's. I've switched out some bands to a stretchy band so I can have it sit on my wrist a lot higher and stay there. I do like the 255 a lot, but it feels to me like I'm still missing like the recovery metrics that I'm very used to in Polar. And I've been using it now long enough where it shouldn't just be like, these are the same things, but just packaged differently and it makes me grumpy. It's not that. I just don't think I'm getting the same like look at it. My heart rate variabilities are very different. So I don't know which one is right or wrong, the Polar or the Garmin. So like there's some more like number crunching that I need to kind of think about. Not sure if I have the desire or the ability to really tease out which one is the correct one in terms of those twos. But like the Polar makes me feel more confident about the number than the Garmin does because the Garmin is a little bit more all over the place. And the Garmin has been having a really hard time working with my stride. Polar's been having some issues lately too, but the Garmin one is super weird. So I'll have a lot to talk about in the video coming up. But I also looked at the Garmin 945 LTE before the Forerunner 255 Music, and I don't know what the difference is between those two watches. Like if you gave me one to run with for a week, I'm not sure in the way that I use GPS running watches, I'm not sure that I would notice a difference at all. So, I mean, I guess maybe some of the maps are more like there's more, I'm not sure. I'd have to really think about it a lot. It would take me a long time to figure out that I was using one versus the other. So I think that it's a really good, it's not super cheap though. That's the thing. It's not as cheap as it used to be. But it's a really good watch. And I think it looks great too. So I do like that one quite a bit, but it's not, will it get me to switch from Polar or will it get me to start liking the Garmin interface? No, unfortunately, but it is a really good watch. That's kind of my thoughts on it. I should just go back and re-record this. I'm just going to take that same, and that'll be the video. No, I don't have to make the video. Or I'll just put some B-roll on top. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the 255. I'll flesh that out more, but that probably won't be towards, because I need to do more testing. I'm going to try running with it a lot more without the Stride foot pod. So that video probably won't come out till August and July kind of time frame. So, but thank you for asking. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. Tomorrow, we'll see that race recap video, the detailed race recap video tomorrow, probably more like Thursday, but we will do a live stream tomorrow. It'll be the last one for the week and probably the last one for a while. So tune in tomorrow for that one. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. I'm going to try to make a game for us I had an idea for a game, but like I said, my wife's out of town and I got the kids on summer break, so I didn't have time to sit down and put the game together. But I think I have an idea for a good one. Maybe I'll be able to do it by tomorrow. So we'll see. All right. Everyone that's running out there, it's hot. Make sure you stay hydrated. Try to find a cooler time of the day. So I want you guys to stay safe out there. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.